What's up? Oh, yes. Thank you. You know, when they said, you want to tape your first comedy special? I said, yeah. I said, where you want to do it? I said, can we do it at my house? They said, no. I said, then Brooklyn. How about Brooklyn then? And I've never been to this venue before. It's nice, right? And when I heard about it in Brooklyn, I was a little bit worried that we were going to be in the part of Brooklyn that was maybe not feeling like Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Then as I got on the subway walking, I was like, oh no, this is still Brooklyn right here. This has not been touched totally by the gentrification brush yet. It's coming. The arena's down the street. We know it's coming. But yeah, man, gentrification's sweeping the nation, man. Happens, affects the Bay Area, and gentrification's got to a new next level of gentrification. Like, you know gentrification's bad now because white people are mad about it. There's white people in Williamsburg right now like, hey, I have lived here for 2 years. 2 years, goddammit. I remember when that coffee shop was a different coffee shop. The muffin place sells froyo now. This is bullshit. Where am I gonna get my muffins? Settle down, sir. It's weird how fast cities change and how things change. I find myself getting nostalgia for shit that doesn't make sense. Like, I was walking down the street one day and I was like, oh man, I remember when that Chase Bank used to be a Washington Mutual. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. What kind of nostalgia is that? What kind of stories I have to tell my daughter? Hey, honey, Dad, I remembers when that multinational corporation was a different multinational corporation because before the banks consolidated, yeah, our stories suck right now, yeah. Your generation, you have to burn it down and start over because we've ruined everything. Yeah, they're remaking Memento, honey. It's over. They're remaking Memento. It's over. And now I live in Berkeley. I never thought I'd live in Berkeley. It's good. It's very lefty and progressive, and it's weird, which I like. I think we got to keep the big cities weird, all right? That's our number one job. And weird can be defined as a lot of things, but I think you should definitely, every day you leave your house, you should be like, oh, I've never seen that before. That's what I like. I'm a big fan of, wow, look at that. And when you live in a big urban environment, you see things you haven't seen before, you just go, oh, that's new. I'll just have to add that into the mix. Whereas small towns, I've never seen that before. Kill it! No, I like that. It's weird. I like it. I live in Berkeley, and Berkeley's still keeping it weird. Like, this is a true story. I was walking downtown Berkeley, and I saw a woman with a sign and like a collection cup. She's trying to collect some money. And the sign, I looked at the sign, so I always read the sign, find out what's going on. It's like the newspaper now. And I looked at the sign, and it said, increase black women. I was like, I think I'm with that. I think I support that. I'm not really sure. Do you have a pamphlet? I need more information. Increase is a weird verb, right? Like, do you mean more black women or bigger? Which do you mean? Are you mad that Shonda Rhimes got skinny? What's going on here? I don't understand. Increase black women. I looked at the sign. I was like, what is that? And I got closer, and it was a white lady with dreadlocks. Yay! Good to see Rachel Dolezal still in the game, though. I appreciate that. Glad she bounced back. It's a rough few months for her of being pretend black. Yeah, Berkeley's weird. I love it, but it's weird. I saw the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't even know why I thought it was weird. Maybe you can help me. I was walking down the street, leaving my house, walking down the main street, and I saw this white woman waiting for the bus, eating a raw head of red cabbage. Isn't that weird? I don't even know why it's weird. I was just like, what is going on? I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know why I think it's weird, but it seems weird. Why are you eating raw cabbage? And she didn't seem that bothered by it. Like, that's what she chose. Like, what do I want to take as a snack? Red cabbage. Like, that seemed weird. I called Homeland Security. I see something. I just feel like I should say something. It's a white lady eating red cabbage waiting for the bus. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? I don't know if she's a Muslim. Why do you always ask that? Why do you always ask that? Yeah, but it's fun to be in New York, man. It's so funny to me to live. I've lived on the West Coast and the East Coast now. New York is liberal. The Bay Area is liberal. But New York's got a very different type of liberalism than Bay Area liberalism. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. It's a way more muscular, aggressive liberalism than we have in the Bay Area. Bay Area's like, we're liberal. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. Why are you trying to pin me down? And that's why it's interesting to me that, like I live in San Francisco, the Bay Area. New York had gay marriage way before San Francisco had gay marriage, which you wouldn't think because San Francisco's the gay place. And yet New York New York State had legalized gay marriage first. And I don't get it, because when we talk to people in the Bay Area about like gay marriage, they're like, well, I think if two people want to get married, it's up to them. I don't think it's any of my concern to stop them. It's up to those two people. If they want to fall in love and do that, that's up to them. You're like, oh, that's so nice. You're going to vote for it? No, I'm not voting for it. I'm not going to do that. I got a big check from the Mormons. I'm not voting for it. You can ask somebody in New York City about, what do you think about marriage equality? And they're like, hey, I don't care what faggots do. What? Oh my God. Did you really just say that? So wait, does that mean you're against it? No, I clearly said, I don't care what oh God, oh Jesus. Oh no, are you sure? I'm on the committee to let okay, all right. All right. Are you sure? Nikki, you're not listening to me. I'm trying to tell you. Okay, all right. Then just go vote for gay marriage. Come back, I'll explain how to be an ally. But it was nice to meet you, Alec Baldwin. It's been quite a pleasure. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I can't quit you. I love you too much. I can't quit you, Alec Baldwin, no matter how many weird things you say. Maybe Tina Fey should write your conversations too. Yeah, man, it's funny, man. It's just, it's hard times out there. Hard times for everybody, especially hard times for black people right now, man. She was like, check, I was waiting for him to get to that. Yes, it is, sir. Do you have thoughts on that? I do, thanks for asking. Yeah, it's hard times out there. And it's so hard right now out there for black people. Here's the thing I think is interesting. That things happen that used to get us upset, we have to let go because we don't have time to get to it, all of it. Stuff that you normally would have been excited about, but now I don't have time to get into it. Like a few months ago, they found out that Hulk Hogan had said the word nigger, and black people were like, Look, Hulk, so normally we'd be all over that shit. We'd be all into it, but that's old white guy from Florida says nigger. Oh, that's our shit, but nah. People are dying, Hulk, so we gotta let that go. The best we can do for you is why don't you just take a seat in the Black Rage waiting room over here. Miley Cyrus, get up. No, it's not that serious. Let Hulkster sit down. Hulk, we'll get you 2017, 2018. We'll see what happens. We don't have time for it right now. And then there's all those issues that are distractions, where they tried to get black people upset about stuff that doesn't even make any sense. Like, remember when the movie Straight Outta Compton came out? And there were news stories like, people are afraid there's going to be riots at the opening of Straight Outta Compton. We are afraid there might be riots. And I was like, what are you talking about? People are concerned there might be riots. And I would turn around, I'm with people right now. Is any of us concerned? No. What people are you talking to? And then the movie opened, there wasn't one riot. And they never came out and said oops or anything. It was like, this went to the next thing. And I'm like, nobody was worried about, no black person was gonna riot at Straight Outta Compton as long as we've waited for that movie? Are you kidding me? That's our Star Wars. What are you talking about? casting notices and all sorts. We had riots straight out of Compton. There was not two black people in the country who had this conversation. Hey, man, what you do this weekend? I was straight out of Compton. Oh, that's cool, man. You want to riot afterwards? No, I don't want to riot afterwards. It's expensive as movies are? Are you kidding me? And it's just funny. I feel all this pressure now to sort of try to understand everything that's going on because I got two kids now. I got two daughters, two beautiful daughters. And it's at the point where, yeah, thank you. It's at the point where I have to start talking about stuff and realizing their place in the world and what's going on. And I have two of those mixed race kids that are going around the country. You guys, anybody here have mixed race kids or is a mixed race person by applause? Yes, my people. Anybody thinking about making a mixed race person after the show? Anybody thinking about doing that? It's a good audience for that. There's quite a mix. It's kind of a blend this audience up. It turns to like a caramel color. It's pretty cool. Call it a Fox News nightmare, this audience. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I got these mixed race kids, and I just, what can I tell you? If you don't have mixed race kids, get you a mixed race kid. How can I say it? Because people react to mixed race kids differently than they react to kids whose parents are the same race. How can I explain it? Remember the first time you saw an iPad? And you freaked out. You're like, oh my God, look at it, it's amazing. I didn't know I wanted one until I saw one. The future is here now. You gotta hook me up. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. That's how people react to mixed race children. When me and my 4-year-old daughter are walking down the street, people are like, oh my God, look at her, that's amazing. I didn't know I wanted one until I saw one. Look at her, look at her, look at her, look at her. I didn't know, you gotta hook me up. Look at her, look at her, look at her, look at her. And look at you, look at her, look at you, look at her, look at you, look at her, look at you, and look at her. This is amazing. How did you do this? She's got your nose, but the skin is completely different. Oh my God. Yes. Some independent verification. Then my wife walks up. Oh, that's where the skin comes from. Look at her, look at her, look at him, look at her, look at her, look at her, look at him, look at her, look at him, look at him, look at her, look at her, look at her, look at her, look at him. This is amazing, this is so great. I love this so much, I want to eat your face. This is disgusting, but this is amazing. How can I love this so much and hate this just the same? Suffice it to say, it's the last time we go to Christmas at my in-laws' house. Ba-da-da-da-da, hi-oh. That's mostly a joke. You know what I mean? It's man, I mean, but here's the true part. Here's the true part of this whole thing. Here's what I realized when I had my daughter, my first daughter. I realized that there was a hidden benefit to having my daughter that I wasn't prepared for. It meant that every time I went to my in-laws' house, I could bring a black person with me. You know what I'm saying? I created my own ally. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like a witness in case shit went down weirdly. Not everybody can do that. Like whenever I was at my in-laws' house and something racially out of the box happened, like sweet potato pie. Who put sweet potatoes in a pie? Do you believe these white folks? Do you believe these white folks? I know, every year with this shit. I'm glad you finally came. Tiny high five. Miniature black power fist when there's too many white people around. Do you believe these white folks? Do you believe them? Because for years I used to go to my in-laws' house and they'd say racially weird stuff. I'd be like, do you white folks believe yourselves? You do. Okay, all right. I'll be outside making an unnecessary phone call to my cell phone provider. What's up, Verizon? How's it going? Nothing, just thought I would chat. Hey. How many minutes I have? Unlimited. Can we count them down? 1, 2, 3. I'm very busy. Yeah. And just to be clear, that is a joke. I've never said to my daughter, do you believe these white folks? She loves her grandparents. They're great with her. I'm lucky that they're in her life. I'm pretty sure if I ever said to my daughter, do you believe these white folks? She'd be like, yeah, I believe these white folks. I don't believe you, Negro. I'm gonna stand over here and see if I can pass. Not with this nose, you won't. I gave you the Jackson 4. It's the second highest level of black noses. 5, 4, 3, 2, Michael. And then the frustrating part is that I get like heat from black people sometimes about the fact that I'm a black guy who talks about race and racism, but because I'm married to a white woman who had mixed race kids, somehow I'm not keeping it real. I'm not holding it down the race. I'm not keeping it 100. Because I'm married outside my race and had these mixed race black kids, and it doesn't even make sense to me. And these are cool, hip, liberal, hashtagging black people. You know what I mean? The ones I like, I want them to like me, and I always get all sad. And it doesn't even make sense to me that I'm not keeping it real because I married a white woman who had mixed race kids. Because think about it. When me and my wife have kids, our kids are born, our kids are considered to be either mixed race or black. What are they not considered to be? Exactly. Everybody got that in unison. So by having a child with a white person, I've taken the possibility of another white person out of the mix. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like that's math. That's like some revolutionary shit. I believe Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. Yeah. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock, we turned it brown. Think globally, act locally. Come on, everybody. It's like a plus minus in hockey. Call that make one, take one. Black people up one, white people down one. Right, I got 2 daughters. Right now we got 3 black people in my house and 1 white person. Or as I like to call it now, we're even. And so people talk to me all the time about, oh, well, your daughters are black, and you talk about being black a lot. Have you talked to your daughters about the fact that they're black? I'm like, well, the one is only 13 months. We're slow, not really. She's a happy baby. I don't want to bum her out yet with that knowledge, Not that being black is bad, but it's a big thing. You can't just, baby, you're black. You got to really sort of lean and kiss slowly where it's like finding out you're a mutant in the X-Men or something. You can't tell a 13-month they have laser eyes. You got to wait till they get a little older. With great power comes great responsibility. But yeah, so my 4-year-old, we've talked about, she knows she's black, but it's funny thing that the first way she came into it is to figure out she started to realize that her color was different than her mom's, and she first thought we were the same color, which we're not. Like she would hold our fists together, she'd be like, we're the same color, Dada. And I was like, we're not, but yay. And then finally she realized we weren't the same color, and I was like, oh, like, I don't know why, I was just like, oh, it was fun for 2 weeks. But I am glad to know you can recognize color difference. And now she has come up with a whole system for what color everybody is. So my skin color, she calls, I'm chocolate. She calls herself peanut butter. And mama is oatmeal. Which may be the first documented case of reverse racism. Because nobody likes oatmeal till you put some chocolate and peanut butter in it. Hey. So my wife is the one who realized that she was going to have to think about some things she hadn't thought about thinking about when she had our daughter. She was one who was like, she didn't picture having kids and she wanted daughters, but she didn't picture having black daughters, because she wasn't that white lady. Let's be clear about that. I'm not married to that white lady. I just got to get a brother. No, I'm not. That's to all the black women in the audience who are like, but what kind of white lady? I'm not that. I hate my parents. I don't have that one. But she realized like there was things about having a black daughter that she was gonna have to pay attention to, a thing about before our daughter was born. And it just occurred to her, one of the things occurred to her one night when she was still pregnant with her daughter. She just woke up in a cold sweat. She's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do about her hair? Every black woman knows what I'm talking about here. Because she realized she didn't know how to do black people hair. And she didn't want to be that white parent with a black kid who just sends them out in the street with fucked up hair and hopes they run into an angry black woman on the way to church. Oh, God damn it, child. Come here, child. Oh, shit. Shit. I don't have my rubber bands or bobby pins. Get back over there to your mama. Bring that child here every day, 8:30 in the morning. This neighborhood is changing too fast. I got 6 kids a day. I got to do their hair. Gentrification. So she didn't want to be that shitty parent. So my wife did what she does. She's a PhD and an MFA. So she did what she does. She studied it. Yeah, my wife's got a PhD in critical dance studies and an MFA in experimental dance choreography, which means one thing: we're gonna be rich. We got a doctor of dance in the family and a social political comedian. Hey! Venture capitalist, I'll talk to you after the show. Pitching that combo on Shark Tank. We need $1 million so we can eat. We like to do it almost every day. So my wife studied it. She like got a binder, started taking notes, and went to the library and took out books and returned them like it was the past. I don't know. She went online and she found a website set up specifically for white parents who have black or mixed race kids. It's only set up for one purpose: to teach them how to do their kids' hair. This is true. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. Some of you think I'm lying. I'll tell you the name of the website. You don't think I'm lying. It's a website for white parents to teach them how to do their black or mixed race kids' hair. The name of the website is, some people's stomachs already hurt. They're scared. The name of the website is Chocolate Hair Vanilla Care. I don't care if you like it. You'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. That's the best branding since ba-da-ba-ba-ba. This hair's nappy. That's great. It's not. Like, you're never going to forget. Here's the thing. It's stuck in there. Some of you are going to go home and look it up on your phone, even though you don't need to. And then one day you're going to hand your phone to somebody, and they're like, Phil, what are you doing looking at white people doing black kids' hair? Is that your thing? Chocolate Hair Vanilla Care. And I guess it's written in a way that white people can understand. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Okay, first, there's a black person in your house. Calm down. You probably adopted them. All right, step 2. This is going to take a while. Yeah, so my wife, she studied the website and had a binder and was taking notes, and so it was funny to see the evolution of how my wife did hair. At first, my daughter was 6 months old and her afro started to pop out. I'd walk in the morning and my daughter would be sitting between her knees and just bobbleheaded sitting there. And there's a comb just stuck in her hair, angry. And there's a computer open and a video playing. My wife's like, ah. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I sprayed water in her hair. I was like, no! You don't just spray water into a black person's hair without a plan. It's like robbing a bank. You got to think 12 steps ahead. You got to get a team of people if you need to. It's like Ocean's 11. You think we need one more? I think we need one more. Let's get one more. You can't just spray water in her hair. But now it's 4 years later, and I walk out there, and there's no more computer, there's no more binder. She's got all the 3 different bottles of product she needs. There's no comb stuck in anybody's hair. I just walk out there, and my wife's like, mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Why are you humming a spiritual spiritual. That's how I get this child's kitchen. Oh my God. Who taught you kitchen? What is happening? Why is there a hot comb on the stove? For effect, damn it. Okay, all right. Our living room looks like the porch from a Snoop Dogg video from the 90s. I'm gonna wait till these black women stop laughing. That's how funny that was. That's where we're at. We need hugs. Yeah, my wife says she's a very attentive and involved mom. She's into it. Like, so my daughter, we moved back to the West Coast and we had to send our daughter to preschool because it's that time. And my wife was like looking up different preschools and setting up like 4 or 5 different preschool visits. And I was like, why are we doing all this work? Can't we just Yelp the closest one? Just scan to see the word molestation and keep it moving. I don't understand what we're doing. No, why? But she was like, no. So she said a preschool visit, because I didn't really get what preschool is about. I didn't know that you really had to pay attention. I thought preschool was just about, indoctrinating kids into capitalism. I gotta be honest. Just goes, in life, you have to go to a room for 8 hours at a time. You're not allowed to leave. Even if you can do the work at home, you gotta do it there. Even if you hate those people, you gotta sing them happy birthday on their birthday. Just the first step to capitalism. Happy birthday, person whose name I don't know. It's just but it's more about that, because every preschool has a different methodology and teaching rubric, and so it's this whole thing. So I found out, so we went and looked at preschools, and I was so happy that we had done all this work, or my wife had done all this work. Because we went to this one preschool, and the woman who ran it was like, just so you know, at this preschool, we don't focus kids on like letters and numbers and learning right away. We just want them to experience play. They'll get all that learning in kindergarten. We just want them to experience play. It's like, thank you, lady, because I'm going to take my daughter the fuck up out of here. Because I don't know if you noticed, but I'm raising an African-American lady baby. And they need to be as smart as possible, as early as possible, because they start way behind the starting line of the other babies. So if they don't get all their knowledge right away soon, then suddenly they're going to be behind their entire lives. So we're going to have to get the fuck out of here. But I thank you for giving us a tour. This preschool is clearly for white male babies, all right? Where a motherfucker can eat paste all day and still be the president! So thank you for this tour of George W. Bush Preschool. We're going to go across town to Shonda Rhimes, Oprah Winfrey, Beyonce Knowles, Alicia Keys, Frida Kahlo, Laverne Cox, Leadership Preparatory Harriet Tubman Academy, Sojourner Truth, where the first day is People's History by Howard Zinn, the second day is Calculus, and the third day, how to use a knife, because sometimes you got to stab a motherfucker who doesn't understand your world history and calculus knowledge. And the fourth day, how to get away with murder. But thanks for the tour. We really appreciate it. It's crazy, man. Doesn't understand it. And there's other things that they're not going to teach them at preschool. There's things that as a parent you have to sort of I found I had to get ahead of and sort of talk to my 4-year-old about things that I'm not even prepared to talk about. But I feel like I just want to get there first and talk to her first. Because I feel like as a parent, I feel like even if my knowledge is fucked up, I just want to know what her first knowledge came from so that I can fix it later. You know what I mean? I just don't want her to learn stuff. Here's a weird, during the Caitlyn Jenner thing, that whole news story, I was like, oh man, I gotta talk to my daughter about transgender people, but I don't know that much about transgender people. But I feel like I don't know where she's gonna get that knowledge otherwise, so I guess I gotta sit her down. And I was like, how am I gonna do this? guess I'll just wait till she brings it up, you know. I sort of wait, like, because my daughter's already at the age where she genderizes things and talks about boys do this and girls do this. Like, kids start to do that naturally, I guess, or because they're, and it sort of sucks. Sometimes you're like, no, some boys do that, but some girls do it too. It really depends on the person. And you don't want to just say everybody. And so I was waiting for her to do something like that. And so one time she was like, boys like to fight more than girls. I was like, that shit is true. That's true. I don't know if it's nature or nurture, but that's true 100% of the time. So, but since you bring it up, gender, you know, some boys, when they're born, we may regard them to be boys, but they know on the inside that they're girls. And so we have to be good at just accepting that one day one of your friends who's a boy might say, no, I'm a girl, and I want you to address me with, they teach you about pronouns yet? Female pronouns, and some of the boy who is a girl may actually, it's the kid word for transition, may actually decide to transmogrify, I don't know, to be you know, may grow hair or just feminine. Gender's an illusion. It's really like, RuPaul has a good quote, I can't remember right now, but it's just a big spectrum, and we just have to accept that if somebody says they are something, that you just trust that they know what they're talking about, and even if it confuses you, well, the world wasn't really created to individually protect our feelings. We have to protect everybody's feelings as a whole. So it's just sort of about what it is. And do you have an email address? I could email you the articles I read. It's like, I was down the rabbit hole. But even with my stumbling speech, she was like, okay, Dada, can we watch Doc McStuffins now? I was like, yes, we can do that. Let's watch that. Doc will probably cover this eventually. But I realized in that moment, we have all this protection around kids. What are we going to tell the kids? How are we going to explain this to the kids? How can we tell the kids about... You know what? You can tell kids anything because they don't know anything. See how that works? You can tell kids anything. They're just a computer just waiting to be updated. They just, what? I don't know nothing. Tell me. Do you realize I saw this? My daughter went to a birthday party with a bunch of 4-year-olds. And they had a magician. 4-year-olds don't get magic because they don't know enough to be amazed by magic. Do you understand? They're like, the rabbit was here, now it's here. Okay, I guess that's how it works. They don't know enough to be, whoa! Like, you can tell them anything, and you just got to give them good files and good information and keep updating the software. I mean, for like 2 months, I had my daughter convinced when we watched Netflix that when her TV show ended, you know how there's like a 20-second countdown? I had her convinced that it wasn't the 20-second countdown that made the next episode come on. It was me standing in front of the TV going, I convinced her I had magic Netflix hands for 2 months. And so I'd be out of the room, she'd be like, Dada, make the next episode come on with your magic Netflix hands. I'd be like, I got this, honey. Yay! Dada's magic Netflix hands. For like 2 months. And then she even figured out that she could do it herself. I'd be in the other room making dinner, and I'd hear the episode end, and I'd walk in the room, and she'd be in front of the TV like, and I'd be like, I don't want you to watch the next episode. And it was like Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader. And she won every time when she thinks she can kick my ass already. It's great. You know? But then, you know, it just only lasted for 2 months because she's not dumb. So one day the episode ended, I went, ying. She went, Dad, that's the numbers counting down. I was like, oh. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. It's just, kids are just like little empty MacBook Airs. They just update the software and it's all fine, you know? Like I remember one day I was buckling in the back of her car seat and she went, Dada, mamas are white. I'm like, whoa, you got a corrupted file there. I don't know what they teach you at that Berkeley preschool, but that's not how it works. Mamas can be, my mama, Go-Go, your Go-Go is black, so mamas can be any color anybody else can be. Mamas aren't white. And she just went, boom. It's just like, she just updated her software. And she was like, okay, got it. And that's why we got to do this. Even as us, we have to keep updating our software and keep getting to the next place, because if you don't update your software, then you just get that spinning beach ball face. Like you see people walking around like, gay people, marriage, it's just like a spinning beach ball face, and that's how you get a Republican. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a simple equation. Then when they run for president, he's even, I mean, and even so, as bad as things are in this country, it's amazing that things have we've got some good things that have come out recently. Sometimes we got to focus on those things. Like, I would have totally lost the bet that we would have marriage equality 50 states wide at this point. You know what I mean? I'd have totally lost that bet. And the funny thing is, I would have lost that bet the day before we had it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have been like, there's no way that's going to happen. Hold on, my phone update. Oh, we got it. It was just amazing. You just woke up one day. And I really never got the whole people not wanting gay people to get married things. I lived in the Bay Area. I just didn't understand, if you don't like gay people, why is marriage the right you want to keep from them? The married people know what I'm talking about right now. I mean, if you don't like gay people, why is that I'll show you by applause. Who's married by applause? Okay. That's been the least enthusiastic applause of the night right there. Like, well, why you gotta bring that? Are we clapping? I'm trying to have a good time. Okay. Why you gotta bring in my problems? And I'm married. I'm not anti-marriage, but it's just like, marriage is not. It's a hard thing. It takes time and commitment. It's like saying you don't want gay people to climb mountains. You know what I mean? It's just like. It's not for everybody. If you don't do it, you're going to climb the thing, you're going to die along the way, you're going to lose somebody, you never know when it's going to end. I thought we were at the top by now. It's just a hard decision. If you don't like gay people, stop them from doing things that are fun. You know what I mean? I don't like gay people, so they can't have ice cream. No! But ice cream is so delicious. Then, sir, you have to stop sucking other men's dicks. But dicks are delicious, especially when they're covered in ice cream. You haven't lived until you've had a pistachio-covered dick. Damn it, gay guy, now I kind of want to taste a pistachio-covered dick. I got to go to the airport, get in a bathroom stall, take a wide stance, tap out pistachio penis. And I'm running for re-election this year. Damn it, gay guy. From the Christian Family Initiative. It was weird how marriage equality happened. You woke up one day, it was like, Supreme Court's like, yeah, it's fine. What, are we going to have to go Stonewall on this? No, it's just, we were tired of getting emails from our grandkids. We just had to go like, just felt like they folded. I mean, it's funny, man, because I really don't understand the Supreme Court. Didn't we escape? Not all of us. Didn't you white people get out of England so that you could get away from tyranny and absolute power and all that shit? And now you have a Supreme Court. I don't understand. Why do we leave the most important decisions in the country to the oldest group of people in the country? I don't understand that. I mean, I know they're not all old, but Atlantic Kagan's in her 50s. She's like a millennial. You know what I mean? I'm not against the old people. I'm just saying, I don't know why the Supreme Court is such an old group, because anybody can be on the Supreme Court. Why isn't it filled with people of all ages so we can get a little diversity on there? I don't understand. People are going to be around to live to see the decisions the Supreme Court makes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's fine to have old people. There should be somebody in their 80s and 70s and 60s represent old people, and then somebody in their 40s and 50s represent middle-aged people, then 20s and 30s, young adults, and then somebody, a teenager and a kid, all the way down to a baby to represent the Tea Party. Wah! Big government, wah! And then on Twitter, because I was tweeting about marriage equality, and I got people were sort of giving me, like, you know, you get those trolls who are like trying to troll you. I love when trolls are too stupid to understand how to troll correctly. Some guy was like, oh, well, if men can marry men and women can marry women, then why can't I marry a dog? I'm like, dude, just be patient. We do big things in this country. Eventually, they'll take that Apple Watch, hold up against the dog's face, I'll be like, I want to marry you. And you'll marry a dog, man. You'll marry a dog. He's like, that's not what I meant. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I find myself in this weird position now because I've sort of got a little bit of a public profile that I'm in this thing I like to call semi-prominent Negro status, where I get asked the questions when Al Sharpton won't take the phone call or something. No, it's like I feel like, so I get asked questions, but sometimes I get sandbagged by, like I'm doing other things. You go, boy, I got you, semi-prominent black guy. Explain racism, you know what I mean? So I was doing interviews to promote a tour I was going on, and this guy called me to do an interview. He's a white reporter, and he goes, before we get started, can I ask you a question? I was like, sure. He's like, when is it okay for white people to use the word nigger? I went, well, first of all, not right then. That's not a good time. That's not a good time. Take that one back. You can't do that one. And second of all, why are you asking me? When did I get put in charge of that? And what's going on? I just picture, what do you got, a situation down at the office you're trying to figure out? You're just like, you know, every Thursday, LaRon eats all the donuts, and I just feel like after that fourth week of donut eating, I should be able to go, slow down, nigga. I got him on the phone, LaRon. You just wait your turn. You just wait your turn. Give me the go-ahead. Give me the go-ahead, guy. That's a big thing. I'm like, when can I say the word nigger? I like to do karaoke, and I like to do old school Dre songs. So I'm here to tell you, because this is part of this show is helping people, so I'm going to help white people here. I'm going to tell white people, when is it okay if you use the N-word? Yeah, no, I know. We'll talk about the black people meeting. We'll talk about the black people meeting. On Tuesday. Don't say where. Don't say where. It is acceptable for a white person to use the word nigger when that white person can deal with the consequences of using that word nigger. See what I'm saying? Isn't that easy? If you can deal with the consequences of saying the word nigger, then you can say the word nigger. All right? For example, like, does any white person want to say the word nigger right now? No, because you're bigger than you look on my computer screen. And this room's a little more old school Brooklyn than I realized it was going to be. So I'm good. Yeah, but later tonight, white people, when you go home, you can, lock the door to your apartment and go into your bedroom and close the door and close the windows, pull down the shades and the curtains and turn up some good loud music like some, I don't know, Taylor Swift or Blake Shelton, I don't know. And you just get out your pillow and you just go, just scream it right into your nigger pillow. Right? Because you all got nigger pillows, right, white people? You all got... If not, I'm selling them after the show, right in the back. There's a big plush pillow with my face on it, like, Says W. Kamau Bell, nigger pillow, right after the show. $15 a piece, 2 for $50, right after the show. It's a math joke I snuck in there, that's right. Just to be clear, I'm not selling them after the show. Because that sounds crazy. Because as much as I'm not sure about our relationship to the Creator, I do believe in voodoo. And I can imagine myself walking down the street like, man, these nigger pillows are selling like hotcakes, but why does my back hurt all the time? I just feel sad. How can you tell if your soul is dead? How can you tell that? Not selling them after the show. Because I've had shows where white people are like, I beat 8 nigger pillows. I'm taking them to go. Can I use them in the parking lot? Some white guy in his Honda Civic. I don't think I made a fan there. Just hard, because there's just all these conversations we have to have, because racism is just, it's bad right now. We have to have all these people of color, we have to have all these conversations, and unfortunately, we have to have them with white people. It'd be easy for you to just have them with each other. There's racism, right? There sure is. Papa, see you later. And I'm not mad at you, white people. Let me be clear. I'm not mad at you. You're not the ones who are here. You're some of the good ones. You're not like the rest. You speak so well. All I'm trying to say is, you're like, hey, that started out as a compliment, but then it hurt my feelings. I know. I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from you. Yeah, but it's just, you have to have these conversations, and it's just this weird thing, like white people, sometimes your response to stories of racism are just so troubling. And I'm talking about, I'm not talking about on the right, because the right has the same response. If you tell somebody on the right you had a racist thing happen, they go, there's no such thing as racism. You go, okay, I'll block you on Twitter. We're done here, I don't gotta watch Fox News. I can turn the channel, But then there's that thing that happens with white people who are your friends, who are on the left, and that thing where you go, hey, I had a thing happen, it was racism. They go, how'd you know it was racism? See every black person, oh, people of color, oh, no, yeah. Do you get that response sometimes? How do you know it's racism? And it happens like this. How do you know it's racism? With like a shovel step. How do you know it's racism? I guess I'm kind of an expert in this. I've been studying it my whole life, whether I wanted to or not. I kind of know. And let me just explain, white people. This is what it sounds like when you say that to us, because I don't think you get how crazy that sounds. It would be like if I was to run into you on the street, collective white person. And I was like, hey, what do you do today? I was like, well, I got up, I ran some errands, and I had lunch. What'd you have for lunch? I had pizza. How'd you know it was pizza? You'd be like, what are you talking about? Because I knew it was pizza. It was clearly said pizza. I have pizza almost every day. That's what I think is suspicious. How are you having all this pizza every day? Because there's pizza everywhere in the world. No, I don't see all this pizza you're seeing. I don't think you had pizza. Are you sure it wasn't pita bread with cheese on it? Are you sure it wasn't pita bread with cheese on it? No, it was pizza. I've eaten a lot of pizza in my life. My parents ate a lot of pizza. My grandparents ate a lot of pizza. My great-great-great-grandparents were brought to this country to make pizza, but they weren't allowed to eat it weirdly. I know it was goddamn pizza. I don't know. Let me ask somebody else who's never had pizza. Come here. You've never had pizza. Do you think that? I don't think it was pizza. He's always talking about pizza. Now I have to kill you. That's what I'm saying. How do I know it's pizza? That's what it sounds like, white people. And then there's a new thing that has happened, a new response that white people who are trying to be your friends, they think they're helping you. Like that horrible thing happened in South Carolina where the young girl, black teenage girl, was thrown across the room by the cop, and it was horrible. And it was like a 15-second video. And there's white people going like, I need the whole story. What, a cop walks over, picks up a black girl, throws her across the room? Yeah, but that's only 15 seconds long. I need the whole story. When are we going to get the whole story? I just feel like, all right, this is what I do. Do this. You want the whole story? Our story begins during the transatlantic slave trade. There was a big boat, and black people were packed on tight, and they shipped us across the water. Then they made us work for a long time and didn't pay us anything. And then eventually a black girl was picked up and thrown across the room in South Carolina. By then they're like, I don't want that story. I thought you wanted the whole story. That's the whole story. No, I just meant like another minute of the video. Oh, that's what you meant. You didn't mean the context. You didn't mean history. You just meant like you want to know the minute of the video. Like she had said before the video started, could you please throw me across the room violently? Yes, I can do that. Ah, see, now I got the whole story. It's just crazy. And then the whole thing with like, it's just trying to have these discussions about structural racism and institutionalized racism, and then out of it comes this beautiful thing, the Black Lives Matters movement, and it's this beautiful thing comes out of it, that other way to sort of crystallize the problem, Black Lives Matter. And then some white people, all lives matter. Shut up. That's not a thing. Nobody ever said all lives matter before Black Lives Matter. You're just trying to shit on Black Lives Matter by saying all lives matter. Before Black Lives Matter, if you'd walked around and said all lives matter, people were like, well, you had an accident recently? What are you talking about? All lives matter. What are you talking about? And then some white people are like, white lives matter. We know. There's no confusion around that. We get it. And the white lives matter. We're quite sure about that. But the thing is true is that white people, let's be honest, you don't even care that much about other white people to even make that viral. You know what I mean? You care about yourself and white people you know, but you don't collectively care about enough white people to make that matter that white lives matter. They just sort of do matter, but you're not fired up about it. You know what I mean? Like there was a dude in Salt Lake City, in Utah. This guy, Dylan Taylor, white guy killed by a cop. White people, what you didn't, nothing? Nothing? No, you're like, I don't know, but what did he do wrong? Yeah, that's what you thought. He must have done something wrong like all the black people do things wrong. Yeah. You didn't get fired up about that. Think about that. Jared Fogle, white people, you just dropped him like a bad habit. There wasn't a protest, a hashtag, a rally. You're like, ugh, fuck it. I'm going to Quiznos. That's cool. I don't need Subway that badly. That's why we have to, and there's so much bad things happen, we have to sometimes, again, focus on the little victories. Like, again, another bad thing happened in South Carolina, because that's where bad things come from at this point in history. That dude, Dylan Storm Roof, first of all, that just sounds like a dude you should be watching. I know, it's like we don't need a background check, we need a front ground check. Look at his face. Watch him. Look at his Facebook page. Watch him. And so he goes into church and kills those people, those black people, and it's horrible. And then out of that, we're like, America's like, oh, we're going to finally have the gun debate. And the South was like, how about the Confederate flag debate? I'm like, all right, we'll take that one. We'll start there. So now the Confederate flag was pulled out of South Carolina. I mean, that's a great thing, but it's just South Carolina. That's a great thing. Yeah. It's a little victory. For me, it was funny to see all the ripple effects that came out of that story that nobody ever expected. Like, it was like, I was reading an article, it was like, due to the controversy in South Carolina around the Confederate flag, TV Land will no longer play reruns of the Dukes of Hazzard. It's like, why is TV Land still playing reruns of the Dukes of Hazzard? If you gotta play reruns of the Dukes of Hazzard, you may not have a network after all. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be shitty to the Dukes of Hazzard. When I was a kid, that was my favorite TV show, yeah. I know some like, are you talking about this out loud? I am. It was it was a fast car. It jumped stuff. They were just boys, Duke boys so cute, whatever, the whole thing. I'm watching this show, and it was my favorite show. And here, understand, my mom was is a race warrior. So in my mama's house, she was like there. She was born in Indiana. She used to colors only bathrooms and places in the movie theater. She fought all the battles. She went to Stanford and dropped out because they wouldn't give her a PhD in African American literature. She is a race warrior. She's fought all the battles. And then her son's like, "Yay! General Lee's coming to save the day. General Lee is coming to save the day." General Lee's coming to save the day. And my mom was just, oh, God. Oh, I wish whoever shot JR would shoot the Duke boys. Like, she just had to sit there, and she understood that I was a kid. She couldn't explain it away. She couldn't tell me out everything that was going on and why this was so screwed up. So she just waited. She knew eventually something would happen, and eventually something did happen. I remember the exact day I stopped watching Dukes of Hazzard, the exact day. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was watching NBC. I don't know what I was watching, maybe the I'm watching NBC, and the commercial comes on, and it says, why would you want to watch a TV show about a car like this? And the General Lee pulls up, when you watch a TV show about a car like this, and Knight Rider pulls up, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, yeah, fuck that show. I'm watching this show. Look at that piece of shit. Right there. No. And they put Knight Rider on against the Dukes of Hazzard, and I was like, nope, I'm here. I'm riding with you now, Knight Rider. All I'm trying to say is I think my mom is the one who created the TV show Knight Rider. That's all I'm trying to say. I think she went to NBC and was like, I gotta stop my kid from watching the General Lee. Here's an idea for a show. You gotta take it, you don't have to pay for it. All black car, cool as shit, Knight Rider, car talks, better than General Lee. You gotta put on directly against the Dukes of Hazzard. And it's also called Knight Rider, which is the original name for the Klan. I got a whole thing here. I'm thinking it through. I don't know what's happening. My mom was crazy. It was intense. And we have to figure out all these issues, man. It's like there's all these things, and now it's time to have another president election. Oh, man, I'm just not ready. I look at the GOP debates, I'm like, none of these people could be president. You know what I mean? Like, none of these people. At best, they could play president in a movie. You know what I'm saying? But like not a good movie like a Steven Seagal movie. Not an old good one like a new, brand new, straight to Redbox Steven Seagal movie for free on Netflix right now. That's the kind of movie they could play president in. And all the candidates you just look through, and I'm like, Jeb Bush was supposed to be the great white hope, I guess. And Jeb Bush reminds me of Jermaine Jackson. I'm just like, I know you're supposed to be better than your brother, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And Donald Trump, oh my God. Donald Trump is like the nagging cough that has turned into full-blown age. You know what I'm saying? If we'd only nipped him in the bud when we had a chance, he would just be HIV, but we let it go, and now he's going to kill all of us. And then, and then Ben Carson, I feel sorry for Ben Carson. I feel like you don't understand, man. You're like a mascot. You're not, these white people don't really like you like that. Like I said, I'm not saying you can't be a black conservative. I'm just saying don't try to be America's favorite black conservative. That doesn't work out very well. Like, my dad might be a black conservative. He lives in Alabama. He's working in the Alabama government for the Republican governor, but my dad knows enough not to talk about it. I asked my dad one time, Daddy, you're a Republican? He's like, slow down. I don't know you like that, all right? Don't get personal. Why don't we talk about something easier to talk about? Like the time when your mom had sex to have you. Here we go. He would rather talk about that than being a black conservative. So yeah, now I realize I'm gonna miss Barack Obama because there's just this thing, like, so there's things he's done that I like, things I haven't liked, but there's also just the fact he's black. That's been a big deal. As much as I know it's a symbol, but it's been a big symbol. Like that I've had 2 kids born, black kids during the era of the black president. They see black family in the White House, they just think that's what it is. And it's a big thing. It's a big deal. And the thing about, as a black person, let me talk for the black people for a second. Give me the black conch 1 second, black people. It's just been nice to have a black president in the White House because sometimes he talks to black people directly to us in ways that white people you've gotten for, every other president. And sometimes he talks to us, and sometimes it's directly with like my Brother's Keeper initiative or things like that, but sometimes he just sort of like sends out a little thing where only the black people and the cool white people know what's going on. And the people of color and black people, we know, but then some white people, it just goes right past them. Like that time he was like, sometimes you just gotta brush the dirt off your shoulders. And we're like, he's quoting Jay-Z! He's quoting Jay-Z! Mama, get in here! The president is quoting Jay-Z! Meanwhile, Tea Party white people are like, that's another reason I don't like him. He's got dirty shoulders. I don't understand. I don't get why he's got dirty shoulders. And it's also fun to have him right now because he's starting to get into that thing where he's clearly just done. He's clearly just had enough. He's not down. He's just he's got that Danny Glover look in his eye. I'm getting too old for this shit. Soon you guys are going to take care of this yourselves because I'm going to be in Dubai writing poetry, growing out my afro. Wipe my memoirs. I can't believe nobody shot me either, yeah. Yeah, he's like, I'm getting out of here, but you guys got to figure all this stuff out. So yeah, he's like a senior who's got all the credits to graduate, but just hanging out with his feet up, just doing what he wants to do. And that's the whole thing. I feel like now he's talking about race stuff more. He's been more direct. A big time I realized I was missing is when he gave it the eulogy for his friend Clementa Pinckney out of the South Carolina thing again. He was giving the eulogy and he was so black that day. He was so black. He was doing that thing where he clearly practices Martin Luther King Jr. impression. He was dropping his G's at the end of verbs. Using words only black people and white Southerners know. We're fixing to get out of here. Fixing. And he's up there being so black, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna miss this so much. I'm gonna miss this. And he got to the end of the speech and he goes, Clementa Pinckney had grace. Amazing grace. And he took a pause am I about to sing? He's like, yeah, amazing grace. He sang it. I was like, oh my God, this is so black.